guys, Ken here, your thrifty apprentice. And let me first start off by saying happy holidays to everyone. I'm hoping that today is one of the best days that you've had all year long, considering how crazy it has been for too long now. Today is going to be the first full-time or real-time tutorial that I've done in a very long time. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right on in. I did a color study a couple of days ago of some Christmas bulbs, and I thought this would be very appropriate for today's live demonstration or real-time demonstration. This is not live. This is pre-recorded. So we're going to do some Christmas bulbs here. I'm going to draw them with you guys and show you the entire process that I went through with doing these. Now, this color study is done on watercolor paper, but today we are going to be painting on mixed media paper, and I'm going to be using my Davenport Mixed Media journal here. So just a quick run through on the supplies. Told you about the Davenport Mixed Media paper. I'm going to be using Arteza 24 2 watercolor set. This is the premium line, which is their student line. We're using a couple round brushes. I got a pencil and an eraser. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. So the first thing I do is figure out exactly where I want to place my objects on my page. I know that 3 is charm, so I need at least 3 of them. Here I did 4, which worked out well for that size paper, and this is pretty much the same size. So we're just I'm gonna start off, and I don't want them all going straight down, so my process is to kind of gauge where I want to put the first one, which I think I'll put it here. And I'm just going to draw a straight line, or as straight as I can get it, because I'm not the greatest at that. And I am going to draw a little dark here so you guys can see what I'm doing. You can draw light on your paper if you would like to. I don't mind having the sketch in my sketchbook, so it doesn't really bother me, but you guys can draw light if you want to. So now what I'm doing here is basically I'm making a rectangle and I'm rounding it off. Pretty simple. I'm doing it, making sure that the line I drew is going down the center. And now all I'm gonna do is imagine a bulb around it. I think I want it a little longer. And we're just gonna draw a bulb around it. And I'm a sketchy drawer. I mean, I'll round it off at the bottom. Yeah, there. I think that's okay. It's not bad. Let me see, where do I want the next one? Here. They don't all have to be the same. I think I'm going to, and of course with some of these, I fatten them out. When I start to paint, I'm just going to fix that a little bit. It's sort of like an upside down egg on a rectangle. I'll put the next one here. Okay, I may end up with a lot on this page. Let's do it here. Then we'll do another one. Flopping down here. That's 3. 4. Oh, we may end up with 5 on here. I don't know. Let's see. So again, we're just gonna draw a square. Or I'm sorry, a rectangle. And then an egg. Seriously, that's what I'm doing. Pretty simple. I'm not being too precise about anything. Just in general, trying to make sure I keep them the same length or around the same length and same width. Some of them are gonna be off. Definitely. I'm gonna straighten it up. There's a really respected artist that I follow who always says that if you can catch the drawing in the beginning and fix it, then do it. I mean, but you know, this is not like something I'm gonna sell. I just wanna have fun with you guys today. I'm gonna turn the paper here. That line is not exactly straight, so I'm gonna straighten it up a little. And then I'm gonna draw a rectangle and an egg. And this one I think I'm gonna make a little smaller. So. Okay. Let's see here. This kind of little too. We're just gonna keep it this size and round it off on the end. Have to be perfect. I think I'm gonna do another one. You think here? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's enough. Let's just leave it at 4. And then we are going to have some little dewdrops on the top of these dewdrops. So anybody can paint this right now. Anybody can be painting along. You can share this. You can do this, or then you can show your kids how to do it later on, just to have some family fun. I put that right back in the same place. See if I can fix that. There we go. Get that more in the middle. And then we'll have it start here. There. Come here and flip back off the page. Why not? Okay. So that's the foundation, guys. It's really simple. I'm just gonna take my eraser and go and remove these lines down the middle. And that is pretty much step 1. And this is the process that I go through when I'm shooting my painting, my speed tutorials. The only thing is you guys are getting to see it real time. All right. And I'm just keeping it simple, nothing too complex. All right, I should have just used a dry brush to brush that off, guys. If you got one, you please use your dry brush to brush that off. I was lazy and I have crumbs everywhere. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and jump into painting the first layer of our bulbs here. So I'm gonna try to, paint faster than I normally do, because I'm used to just shooting videos, because I know I'm gonna speed them up. So I don't want this to be too long and keep you guys too long. It is Christmas Day, so we're gonna do it in the same sequence that I did it in the color study. We're gonna start with the lemon yellow and the yellow ochre. So I'm just gonna grab some lemon yellow here and mix it out on my palette. And guys, forgive me if there is a glare in that, in my palette from my lights. I'm still trying to get situated with all of that. So I'm just gonna paint this. I'm not gonna wet the paper. Now this is mixed media paper, but this Jane Davenport mixed media paper is pretty good. I actually do like it. And I was determined not to go outside the lines, and I did it anyway. but this is. So we're gonna put in a really watery layer of lemon yellow. All right, and then I'm gonna switch brushes, rinse that one. And I'm gonna switch to that number 6 tack line. And I'm gonna grab some yellow ochre. Mix it out on my palette. Oh, I hit my light then. I've got to get this set up a little bit better. All right, let's just mix this out. And then we're gonna take the yellow ochre into that watery lemon yellow. It's a little thick. I didn't mean for it to be that thick, but that's fine. Okay. And I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of that yellow ochre directly from the pan. I want to get that in there like that, and hopefully, I'm not sure how much different it's gonna be on the mixed media paper versus the watercolor paper. So I'm gonna switch brushes again, go back to my number 10 synthetic squirrel, and then I'm gonna grab some vermilion, and I'm gonna get it to a wash consistency, and I'm gonna go in on that next bulb. This is gonna be interesting for me, guys. Trying to paint so fast, but it's a challenge and I'm up for it. All right, let's see, we're gonna get some more pigment in there. I love how pigmented and bright and vibrant these colors are in this particular set. Now that's gonna dry flat. I'm gonna rinse that brush and I'm gonna switch back over to my number 6. And then I'm going to grab some crimson directly from the pan here. Just kind of mix it out a little bit in the wheel. And then I'm going to add that in to my shadow area. Now you can do these in different variations. They don't all have to be the same. I'm gonna bring this one all the way around and just get thinner as it comes towards the bottom. And keep in mind, it's gonna dry lighter because it's a really wet wash, so it's not gonna dry. Okay, and I'm going to grab just a little more of that color because I do want mine. And I think I'm going to mix some of that out with a little water. And then just drop it in on the sides here a little. And that's gonna diffuse a lot lighter than what the heavier pigmented color that we added in. Okay, let's move on. I sure hope this comes out right. I'm just kind of having fun. This is the first time I've painted like this in a long time. Okay, so the next we're gonna use Phthalo Blue. So let's get some phthalo mixed out here in a wash. And I've switched back to that number 10 synthetic squirrel. And we're just gonna get that in here on this third bulb. And this is a pretty big brush for the size of this bulb, or for the size that I made this bulb, but I'm gonna go ahead and challenge myself to use this bigger brush in this smaller area. All right, and I actually kind of want a little bit more pigment in it. Drop a little bit more. So I just kind of grabbed it directly from the pen and drop it in there. Or directly from the palette, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna rinse that and we will move on to grabbing the number 6. And then we're going for Ultramarine directly from the palette. We're not gonna mix it out with any water. That's why I pre-wet the paints. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I knew that was gonna be intense. I'm gonna kind of just bring that down to there. All right, I need to grab a little more directly from the pan. I need to saturate that V a little more. And then we're gonna bring that down like so. Just kind of tap that out and let it diffuse as it goes down. All right, and then we're gonna move on to the green one. So I'm gonna start with a wash of the light green. And I switched back to my number 10. And we're gonna get that based in. Let's see. This paper is pretty absorbent, but I've been painting on, I have 2 or 3 of these journals. This is the one that I call myself putting the paintings in that are supposed to turn out good. That's not always the case, but that's what I tell myself. All right, we know that that's gonna dry flat. Now we're gonna actually add sap into that, and this sap green has a really high yellow tone to it, and it's gonna be, it is so pretty to me. And I'm just gonna get that curved around. And I think I'm gonna stop it there. And then I'm gonna go back into the pan and get color to do my little V shadow on the bottom. And my little shadow for the light source, we'll tap that in just there. Bring it down just a little more. All right, so that is the first layer of color for each of the bulbs. I'm gonna go ahead and paint in the wire. This should be, I got some pre-mixed black color in this palette from when I did the test painting. It's pretty watery. We're gonna just, I'm just basing it in. We're gonna make that look so much better later on. I think I stuck my hand in my paint. And as you guys see, I have the hardest time painting in a straight line. But but that's okay. We're just getting color based in, and I will be much neater on my second time around with this. But for right now, I just want to see the direction that I'm going in. All right. Okay, that's not gonna be too bad. So we're gonna get that time to dry, and then we are going to start in on the top of the bulbs and switch the brushes here. I was using, if you guys remember, the number 10 Master's Touch Round Synthetic Squirrel to paint before. I'm gonna switch to a number 8 Master's Touch Synthetic Squirrel. It is going to help me out a little bit more here. So we're going to start here. We're taking that lemon yellow, and we want it in like a milky consistency. A lot of water. See, what we're doing here is we're adding more color, balancing out everything, and softening those lines from that shadow. Adding another layer of color to the lemon yellow, so it's going to be brighter and more saturated. Just want to try to diffuse some of those. And if you feel like you need to, get you a little bit more water. I'm gonna get a little bit more water here, a little bit more, just a little bit more. I just need to soften those lines a little bit more. All right. This paper is not quite performing like the watercolor paper, which I didn't expect it to because it is mixed media. I'm just gonna grab a little of that yellow ochre, just a tad bit. I wanna redefine my shadow here. All right. We're gonna rinse that brush, go back to the number 8, and move on to the Vermilion Wash. And we're gonna try to get it in a milky consistency. And then we are going to, I got a bead of water there. Let me get that before that causes a disaster. And then we're gonna go and paint in. And I'm trying to clean up edges as I do this. I am just concentrating a little bit. I do apologize if I get quiet from time to time. Let's see, I did want to remind you guys not to forget that we are doing the Master's Touch all right, and I'm gonna once again rinse that brush, grab the number 6, and grab some crimson. And we're just gonna redefine. It's right there. We're gonna just redefine it just a little bit. Let it sink in. All right, let's move on to the blue. Back to the number 8. We're gonna grab phthalo. Get the bead of water off. And we're just gonna go in and try our very best to paint that in, reshape it just a little bit because the shape is off. and get that all based in, hoping that alright. And then I'm going to grab the number 6, make sure it's clean, go in for some ultramarine blue straight out the palette, and just drop it in there. Quite a different effect on this mixed media paper. Rinsing my number 8, going into my light green, giving it just a milky consistency. And we're going to, that is a little too watery. Let's take this straight from the palette. There we go. A little bit more saturated. There we go. Just gonna see if we can straighten it up just a bit. Alright. And then we'll rinse that, jump over to our number 6. Grab some of that sap green directly from pen and drop it in there. Just gonna just for kicks. All right. I think we're doing good. That's still very wet, so I don't have a heat gun or a dryer or anything, guys, so we're gonna have to let stuff dry naturally. Let's see here, burnt sienna. Let's get a little burnt sienna. I'm gonna water that down. And I'm gonna figure out how to get this set up. This palette that I'm using for this palette is kind of big. But let's see. Just a little too watery, honestly. But I'm gonna go with it. It's already down. So I'm just and I think I'm gonna let that dry a little before I go in and put in the, like the shadow parts to show where the screw would have its different layers. And the ones I did here were more rounded. These are more rectangle. Okay. Now I need to honestly blot up some of the water out of that first one, because that's a little too puddly. So I'm gonna just I dry my brush on a paper towel to pick that up. And now I'm gonna go back in with a little of that color directly from the palette. That's better. All right. Now I'm gonna go around the outside of it. I don't know if I don't know why I didn't write it down. I mean, I didn't swatch it out. I don't know why I overlooked it, but I believe I used raw umber. And I'm just gonna use it directly from the palette. I'm not gonna mix it out in any water. So I want it kind of, so it would be one here, here. We'll just leave it like that. Okay, that was a little too watery. You see how watercolor just runs all over the place when it gets into a puddle of water. That was my fault, but it's okay. We'll work with it. Same thing here. Very cartoony now. And we are just gonna go with it. Okay, we're definitely gonna go back in with some stronger color when I need to give that time to dry. And again, I don't have a heating tool or a dryer, guys. I apologize about that. I guess that's one of the things you should have when you're shooting a real-time tutorial though, huh? That's why I don't normally do it. But nonetheless, okay, so I need to give that a second to dry. Now that that has had time to dry, I'm going to go in with some burnt umber directly from the palette and see if I can get a little bit more definition in that screw part. There we go. Just gonna all right, and can you guys see that? Let's move that in just a little closer. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna rinse my brush and blot it just a little so that I can kind of soften that edge. Like that. All right. See if I can move just a tad bit faster here. Just a little bit more color there. And just get that kind of fade it in a little bit. And you know what? When I blend it in, I notice it'll blend a line out. So I have more water in the brush than I need. I'm just gonna try to correct that issue really quickly. Blend it out. Those lines are kind of harsh there. And I'm gonna have to, I didn't want to use color pencils on these, but I think I'm gonna have to. Because I'm having a little trouble with just getting my details accurate the way I want to. And I think that's probably one of the drawbacks of being an artist that embraces mixed media so much, is that you kind of know that you can paint with, you're gonna be adding other things that will help you kind of correct something here or there. And I really wanted to kind of keep this a straight, just watercolor painting, so we'll see how it comes out. All right, last one. Kind of went out of my lines there. I'm just gonna grab my paper towel and block it. I can go back in and redefine. I don't really. Okay, so let me add the tops to these really quickly. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and throw on some medium highlights. Hopefully this is gonna work out right. I'm just mixing some white out of the palette into a little water. And I'm gonna start here. And then another here. Then maybe right on the tip there. All right, and then we'll bring one down this side. And we'll bring one down this side. Now notice this is not very opaque at all. It's just kind of building layers up to, we're gonna get to the brighter highlights. So now my white has a little yellow in it, but we're gonna keep kicking here. And maybe just like that. Maybe that's how that light was hitting. And something like that. I think that's nice. Yes. Okay. And then we'll do the blue one. And this is itty bitty. You know, it's itty bitty. And something like that. And let's see. My book up here. Here. Like that. And now these are very, artistic light bulbs. Maybe this isn't exactly how the light would be hitting them in reality, but in this little fun painting in my world, that's how it's gonna be hitting. So now let's go ahead and darken in the cord. Trying to get the black reconstituted without adding too much water to it. All right, let's see what we got here. Nice. Let's see if I can keep my brush stroke, considering I got that highlight. Okay, not too shabby. I really need to turn my paper. Okay. I gotta learn to be more chatty, huh? Let's see. I'm just really trying to make sure that I keep. I'm not sure how to come in. I don't want to get on top of the ones I'm on top of the, oh, I got way too thick with that coming in at that angle. Just done it this way to begin with. All right. Then I'm going to turn it around this way. See if we can get the rest of this. Maybe I should have used a flat brush to paint that. I don't know. Either way. Cool to have some dimension to it. I'm putting a little bit darker color around certain areas, just so to have a little dimension. Put some highlights on it. All right. emphasizing. Okay. So, there we go. We're halfway there. I'm gonna go back into my white really quickly. And then once all of this dries, we'll put our main highlights on and we'll be good to go. I'm just dropping in a highlight on each of those screws. I know this is gonna dry a lot lighter than what it looks now. I don't want, I kinda wanna go ahead and start putting let me try to put a base highlight on. I don't know how this is gonna work out, considering the fact that okay, maybe. I just wanna touch a little white on each link of that cord. All right. Those are some really saturated colors. They are. I mean, they really stand out. Okay, so I am going to get this time to dry, and then we'll be back to do the very last thing. I don't think I'm gonna put any color pencil on it. I said I was gonna use some color pencil to kind of clean up the edges of my bulbs, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave it like it is. Okay, let's see. To do the highlights, I'm actually gonna be using some gouache. I just don't, the white watercolor in the Arteza set is just not strong enough to carry the highlight the way I want it to for the really bright highlights. So I'm just gonna grab some gouache, and this is Master's Touch gouache. I'm just gonna use it to kind of emphasize areas within the other one, within the white watercolor highlight that I put on. So it seem to have sort of a glow, hopefully. That's the mission I'm on anyway. And whether or not I'm gonna accomplish it is still to be seen. And just like so, just sort of, hopefully that's starting to round it out. All right, let's see here. And then in the middle there, just dot it on. Come down this side. And I'll come down this side. I want to see if I can straighten it up just a little more. There we go. And add the highlight on this one. And I like the green one. I think the green one is actually my favorite. It's just me though. Green is my favorite color, so probably gonna be partial to it. All right, let's see. It's not too shabby looking. Have to get my cord. I'm definitely gonna have to go back in and use more paint for those. Just so you can really see it on the cord. It's very artistic kind of painting, you know, it's not very real looking, but not too bad. For my first real-time painting demonstration or paint along out the door, wouldn't you say? All right, just gonna make sure I got all the excess water off that brush, and it's gonna soften the ends of those a little bit. I don't know, I think that, I don't think I want to do anything else to it, guys. I think, you know, that's about long enough. I've held you guys long enough. This was just a little quick, you know, paint along with you guys on Christmas Day. Something fun to do. Something fun for me to be able to, you know, chat along with you guys as the video play on Christmas Day, because I am going to be spending it home. So if you like some things that you saw in this video, if I said anything that kind of helped you out or is going to help you pick up a technique or two, or if you've used these watercolors and you want to comment on how they perform for you, because, you know, this is not the first time I did use them in this painting as well. So, you know, I'm really getting a feel for them, really kind of playing with them, testing them out. I will just say I already love the vibrancy of them. But there you go, guys. There you do. There it is. Now you have it. Let me sign the painting real quick. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please, by all means, share the video. Remember that sharing is caring, and it helps to grow the channel. Head on over to the Thrifty Apprentice Facebook page and like us there. You can drop off your artwork for all of us to see. Same thing with, well, you can't drop off artwork on the Instagram page, but you can head on over there to see some of the things that happen on and off camera. And am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. And remember, as I tell you at the end of every single video, just keep painting.